Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Friday. So, market hasn't been so hot this whole week. There's a lot of catalysts going on, especially with the mandates on federal installations for the COVID vaccine. Do I agree with that? Uh, I mean, we could talk about it for hours about our opinions on whatnot, but we don't have control of it anyways. So the best thing we can do is just adapt and keep moving forward. So the markets have been crappy um, for speculators, for retail, for investors. Long term, just to really, I was talking about it last night in the chat. Like, it depends what kind of investor you are. If you're an investor that is looking for a quick return, you're an active investor and you're looking for bigger returns on some of these companies. If you're a passive aggressor, then it's a long-term projection. And if you think about how wealth moves, that's how they move in investments. So we we don't need to focus on the charts every single minute. We have to think like an investor sometimes. The opportunities to make money in the market will be there, but have patience. And that's really, the best advice I can give is having patience, and things will pay off. So we hit a level of concern. Okay, I noticed it this morning. That's why I'm making this video. This line right here on the NQ is at 15,335. Remember that number, because if we break that number, we're going to see a nasty pullback or possibly a correction. So remember that number. I would say anything above, the 15,630 range for NQ, then we could start maybe seeing, a retest to, our all-time highs. But for now, that's what I'm seeing is a squeeze happening. It's been happening through each of these tickers. If we look at SPY had a gap up this morning, and that's why that level right there is so critical, or for the NQ. But this level as well is critical, this 449. So again, we're still seeing a little bit of a squeeze happening through here, and breaking that 450, then we might see, a retest in the higher highs. So I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but that's what happens when you're looking at futures, and you're going to see that similar pattern for the rest of the markets. So, or the rest of the ETF. So 444 is a level that I'm still looking at. I was telling the guys yesterday in chat, I still see 446 a level that SPY would need to bounce at. But yeah, it's definitely looking a little top heavy still. So today would be a day you probably don't want to trade. If you haven't been trading at all, great. You don't need to. Unless you're going out into farther options, and even that's risky, right? So just remember that risk reward ratio in a bull market is going to be higher than when you're in I would say a fake bull market, right? I don't want to necessarily say a bear market, but it's not a real bull market right now either. So we got investors that are still running the plays like normal, but for a lot of those momentum stocks, we're not seeing those big movements like we were seeing, a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago. So yeah, minimum for SPY right now is 444. Max is 456, and then right now we're at 450. So that's what I see for SPY. Looking at VIX real quick. The VIX gap down, retesting that same level at $24. but you can see it's trying to want to curl back up. So if you look at the bands here, look at the difference. So the bands are curling, trying to curl up like this, right? But on SPY, it's doing the opposite. It's pushing down, okay, down pressure. We would have to break this level here, but then I see another resistance right through here, and that's my concern. So what might happen is something like this. That's possible. It really depends on how the market's going to react this morning. All right, so looking at some of the tickers, of course, we talked about Tesla hitting up the 755. We hit that range, 760. So Tesla still looks okay. I would still be a little hesitant now because it's getting a little bit in the area of where it's finding some resistance at this 463. Okay, so there might be a minor little pullback. Now, if it breaks above 764, then you might see a 780 move. But let's just make sure we get confirmation. See, we got that confirmation 760 right here as well. So there we are. We found our resistance for this. So let's just be careful before we get into this move right here. Okay. So minimum I see for Tesla is 694, and the middle range is 729, and of course we're at that high range of 767. So again, when investors are looking at the best entry, they're not looking at this entry right here. Okay, they're looking down here where the price is deviated away from the mean, and we're using a multiple variance, and they're probably doing some kind of multiple calculation as well to see where the best entry is for them. So that's where I see that level at 695 currently. All right, so I'm not going to look at MU. Let's look at AMC. AMC's still chugging along. We're aiming for $50. We're getting really close to it. We might hit it today. We might have a strong push this morning, and then a drop, and then it goes sideways. So $51 is what I'm seeing for AMC. The min for that is 40, or the middle for that is 43. Breaks below that, then we see that $36 range. So again, we haven't tested into this overbought zone yet. So let's see if they want to push it up that far or not. It looks like we do have a little support at 47.71. So, and I get a little more confirmation on this one, $48. So really above 48, then we might see that 51 today. Disney, and Disney had a gap up again. Like I said, I talked about in the video that we might see that 190 range happen. So that's definitely something. It does look like it wants to retest this zone again. So let's just see if it actually works out this time, and then we really do climb to 190. So that previous rejection was 190 on the dot, so it would make sense if it wanted to push that far. And if we're looking at just today for min max, let's just go in a 2 minute. So that gap up, so we got a little squeeze going through here. So it might take profit this morning and maybe start retracing down. We'll just have to see. But yeah, definitely, I would say 188 is probably where Disney's going to push. And if it gets above that, 190. If it breaks the 185 range, which has been a strong support for a while, then we're probably done with Disney for a bit. AMD trade that I got into last night or yesterday. Unfortunately, I just didn't have time to get out of the trade, so I'm in it still. I'll try to be executing that order this morning. If I take a loss, I take a loss. I don't go heavy in my contracts, especially at the end of the week, and I usually play out of money contracts for this exact reason. When you're playing with these, momentum stocks, it's better to play out of the money sometimes, because you can lose a lot more if it goes the wrong way, even if you are playing in the money plays. So it's just too short of a time with in the money with momentum stocks. So Yeah, if we can push above this 106.56, maybe we'll see that 108 today. So I'll keep taking a look, as we go on through maybe about 8 o'clock, and see where we're at from there and make a plan. So we are in a definite squeeze, which is good. It just depends on what direction that squeeze wants to go. So yeah, I mean, this is the higher probability to go up, but again, it just depends on what direction it wants to go. So 109 would be good. That's another level. I would say if it breaks below 105.54, then yeah, this plays done for. I don't know if I want to look at Baba. I'm just looking at some things on my chat, and actually, matter of fact, someone mentioned DM, so let's take a look at that real quick. Desktop metal, and this is the first time I've seen this chart. Looks like it had a gap up this morning. And it's crazy. If you actually just played shares, you'd probably have more success than playing options. Just keep that in mind. If you can just work on your account and say you do play options and you manage it wisely, then possibly you can use that to kind of upgrade and start accumulating some more equity so you can play shares instead of options, because these algorithms work really good for both, but they work really really good for shares. So especially the bands were made in mind of investors. That's why I build them that way, because I want to see where the investors are buying. So you can see there was an investment purchase probably through right here at the $7 range, maybe a short-term investment. And let's just see, because you can see it popped. It hit $9 right here. Let's see if it wants to have a continuation. If it does, it's going to hit that same area. Anytime I see this spot where on the bands where it hit already a resistance on the deviation, but then I notice that deviation price hasn't changed yet, then that's when I say like a range trade, meaning it's just going to hit the same level it hit before. Okay, and usually I like to stay out of those, especially for options. So yeah, a break of the nine, we can say yeah about $9. Then we can get into maybe like a $10 move or something. But it does look a little squeezy right now. So I would just kind of hold off and see what's going to happen after $9. And let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has had a pretty nasty drop. I'm not sure what the whole catalyst was, and I don't really care because it's Bitcoin. And people that have been around a while understand the nature of Bitcoin and know that it does like to drop significant amounts of in a quick fashion. And that's the risk of playing it. So it's better just to buy in these lower areas, and that's exactly what people did. However, the bands are not, there's no confidence yet, right? There's no sentiment, like a positive sentiment, until we can maybe get over this VWAP, and then maybe we might get some other traders involved into this to push us up to maybe like 48,000 or so. And if we hit 48,000, maybe we'll get even more sentiment to go all the way back up to 51,000. But again, we've hit some of those resistance levels. So what I'm looking at through here on this deviation is this price needs to be higher than this price. And currently it is, but we are still in a little bit of a downtrend. So if we continue and we can't break above that price, let me just give you a number at 45, 40, 46, 626, something like that, 630. Then it's going to retest this 45,742. And if it breaks that, then we're going to see 43, and then possibly even lower down to 39,000. So 39,000 is the level I'm looking at. And you can definitely see there is a squeeze still happening. And if it does break that, yeah, 39, 35,000 possibly. That is a little farther out there, but we still got to look at all those different numbers that we're seeing on the variance. So are we bullish right now? we're bullish, but we're in a squeeze. So if we break that 45,417 or 45,700, that range, whatever that is, just expect it to drop lower. So this is a risky area right now, in my opinion. All right, well, that's it. That's all the time I have for today. And if you guys enjoy these videos, just like, share, and subscribe. And I'll holler at you Monday. Thank you.